Back live, everybody. As you know, Toyota's president is apologizing to the world. Our Congress is promising to investigate the defect in Toyota's vehicles responsible for a score of fatalities over the last few years. We are joined now by a man who only wishes that this car company had the courage and foresight to admit that its vehicles had a potentially deadly defect a little earlier than they did. On your left, that's Tom Bolin. Tom is the brother-in-law of a man named Monty Hardy, who died when his 2008 Toyota Avalon shot into a pool, flipped over. It killed Monty and 3 passengers, all friends of Tom. And here's the rub: complaining that their car had raced out of control on 3 separate occasions. The Hardy family took their car to the Toyota dealership last year. They were told what, Tom, just a month before the recall?
Oh, your car has no problem. We've taken care of it. Your floor mats are not the kind that are causing the problem, but just to be safe, put the floor mats in the trunk, which he did. Inexcusable. So
your family, the Hardys, actually said that this thing was racing out of control and were told not to worry about it.
We checked it out, and your car has no problem, and that was not true.
Well, listen, Tom, do you blame Toyota or do you blame your dealer?
Well, that's a very good question, because the answer is obvious. There's culpability all the way up the chain, and when a mechanic does not fix a car right, he can pass on the blame, but there's a manufacturing defect here that is an appalling tragedy to these 4 families.
That's for sure. Sitting alongside Tom Bolin is Randy Roberts, the Hardy family attorney. Same question, Randy. Where do you go for compensation for the family's grievous loss here? Do you go to the dealer who either knew and lied or didn't know, or do you go right up the food chain that Tom describes and go after Toyota?
I think the dealers only knew what they were told by Toyota. I think at the end of the day, the buck stops with Toyota itself.
Well, let me ask you, Randy, let me ask you this. Did Toyota ever write to Tom and his family members a letter of apology?
No. They knew about this fatality within days after it occurred, yet 6 weeks after this family had this tragedy, they never heard anything from Toyota. Over a month ago, Toyota came down and examined this car in the wrecker yard a few blocks from the family's house, and they didn't even go by and pay a courtesy visit or call, much less send a sympathy card. That should tell you something about the apology that you heard about, if it's an apology at all.
Well, Tom, I just want to tell you that, obviously you have our sincere condolences. I think you represent the tragic end of a terrible story. It's wrecking a car company we all thought, I've owned Toyotas in the past, was doing great things, making terrific vehicles. But if they lied about this thing, or they knew and didn't tell people, then shame on them, and they'll pay the piper. And I know that won't fully compensate you for your awful loss, but at least it's a beginning. Tom Bolin, thank you. Randy Roberts, thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us on tonight's special broadcast. Big Super Bowl tonight, Lingerie Bowl tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. Thank you.